Go. Hey everyone, it's Christian here. Another interview with Dean. This time it's gonna be on gangs. So Dean, what do you think on gangs?
My thoughts
What's
on
your
gang.
take? Yeah, what's your
My
thoughts?
take on gangs. Gangs are gangs. Gang. I mean, if you were to use the wording itself, it's a group. It's a group of people. Because in life, what you'll find is that everything in life moves around in groups. That's the security. You know, you get fish schools, wolf packs. You know, what's it? But nations. You know, and the colony of an ants or whatever. People move in groups. It's the grouping of people. It makes them feel security. They use their power, their intelligence. They use what they need to do to empower themselves. Gangs are just a means of them trying to get empowerment for themselves as people in a particular place or society. If they feel they've been dejected to prejudice or injustice, squeezed from one end, therefore they will group together to become something where they've lost their power in society. They group together to empower themselves to become something because society has pushed them out. So it's a natural defense survival mechanism that human beings naturally have. You push any human being in one particular area, they will come up and empower themselves with a strength. And that's where in small doses, all around small areas, you'll get gangs becoming groups of people grouping together for empowerment. But sometimes what happens is where there's no structural policy as a people, they will end up either one will slip, one will make the wrong comment, one will mistrust, one will lose this, one will lose. Therefore, it will cause a lot of friction and problems within that group. If one goes to outside of the group, then they consider betrayal and all this kind of stuff. So that's where where you've already been divided once from people that you've been already pushed away from. And then they divide in again because they don't want to stay in that gang no more. They want to move out because they want to do something else. Then it's like they're being betrayed. They lose the security. That's what happens. The group becomes insecure when other people start falling out with each other. Therefore, it causes a lot of friction again. So, I can understand the concept of gang or the concept of being in a gang, but it's only limited to a particular type of force because it has only been brought on by being pushed out from other areas within society. Do you know what I mean? So it brings about another understanding of who, of what, and what you need to do to kind of allow yourself to be you. While living in a societal community, you've got to be you and find out who you are and deal with what you need to do in your life instead of grouping you. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's conditioning. If you're conditioned to think in a certain way about yourself, then you will be conditioned to act and react and to do certain things accordingly. Yeah. That's why it's so difficult for youngsters because they're not developed. They're not in their brains, their minds. They're still developing. Still learning about themselves, still learning about who they are, learning about their family, their friends, and where they fit into society and all this kind of stuff. So it's a matter of just allowing yourself to be put into a situation where you need to, at one point, you need to find out and reflect on yourself and find out who you are. Yeah. So you don't have to feel the need that you need to do this with that one and go here and do that and blah, 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 because, they're going to ask you to go and shoot someone or do something or, go, go shotting or go robbing or whatever that you need to do. Like obviously money is another issue. Girls always gonna be an issue. Family's all gonna be an issue. There's always an issue. There's always an issue because you're always connected. Because there's always the connection that's always gonna be there. Family, friends, love, money, and women. It's always the same because that's we're all connected by the same kind of thing. So that's where sometimes again, the disconnection comes because when there's lack of trust, betrayal, like I said, betrayal, all these other elements aren't in fullness. That's where it all starts to fall apart. Do you know what I'm saying? So, like I said, man, gang. I can understand the concept of a gang, but it's not conductive to be productive, to be positive. Even though it has its aspects of positivity because it's an empowerment for that particular time. But it's folly only because not condemned, but it can fall on cracks. It will crack. Do you know what I'm saying? Because it ain't empowered enough strongly. As individuals, if the individuals aren't empowered strongly within themselves, it will fall apart. So that's where the problem is. So each individual needs to know how he is empowered within himself, hold himself up. Then each individual will be empowered. One doesn't need to worry about the other one, only to look out for each other. In a sense where you be able to liaise with each other for a higher goal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the higher goal that you're trying to achieve, not just trying to empower yourself because you felt empowered at one point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the empowerment that you need to find, that you need to deal with.
Yeah.
You're already empowered, but you have lost the sense of your power. You know what I mean? As a person anyway. So you need to look again, find where you need to find your power again. So each process, each knock, each experience that you go through is about what are you trying to find? That empowerment of what is, the empowerment of who you are and what is to come and all this kind of stuff. To create.
Yeah.
But unless those elements are there, you're not going to be able to create something for yourself if those elements aren't there.
Yeah.
So it's always going to be limited. It's a limited force of empowerment. That is the only real end of situation. That it's a limited force of empowerment. Though it's in its group concept, it has its positive, but it's really what's the word? I can't remember the word now.
So do you have, doesn't matter, do you have a message for maybe someone wanted to join a gang? Should they join?
The message I would say, think about why. Think about why you're joining. What is in it for yourself, and what is the particular outcome of why you want to join a gang. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously, if you're dealing with insecurities in yourself, you know what I mean? Because some people join gangs because they're looking for father figures, they're looking for love. You know what I mean? They don't want to admit it, but they're looking for love, they want reassurance, they're looking for security. You know what I'm saying? Think about the elements that what you are looking for. Because you may be asked to do things that will really will actually be against your own good nature as a person.
Yeah.
Therefore, then you would have to make decisions you wouldn't normally make under different circumstances. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? But you'll be forced to make them to prove yourself to be a man. Do you know what I'm saying? Therefore, you need to decide hard whether this is going to be the right role for you or it ain't going to be the right role for you. Because seriously, when you get people that are who are completely out of alignment with themselves anyways, making decisions like that to force you to make decisions about decisions you don't really want to make.
Yeah.
It's at the end of the day, man, that's going to reflect back on your own life in the future. And therefore you're going to look at yourself and just yourself that you're going to have to do. When all your friends and your buddies aren't about no more, who are you going to run to? You're going to run away from yourself. You can't.
Okay,
You've got yourself to deal with, and that's all you got to do is yourself.
Yeah, so
don't run. If you make a mistake and you run in, where you run into, where you going to run to? You can't run nowhere. Because the last person you're going to be looking at is yourself in the mirror. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's why that's the person you need to get right. So save yourself a problem, save yourself a headache.
Yeah.
Just don't get involved in the first place and keep yourself on the right way. Keep yourself on the right move.
So one last question: thumbs up or thumbs down on gangs?
Thumbs down, man.
Thumbs down. Okay. There's been an interview with Mr. Dean on gangs. Thank you for joining me again, and we'll see you next time. See ya.
See ya. Take care, bye.